Hi guys, my name is Siobhan Egan. I'm a spiritual psychic medium and life coach and healer. It's a load of little titles for basically I'm a healer, and I used different tools and different services which is required in that moment to help a person work through their blocks and their true potential and to connecting with their loved ones in spirit world. I'm very privileged to be on this path. I'm not going to say it's an easy one to walk, but it has its challenges, but it also has its absolute rewards. So I'm truly honoured to be a part of this work in order to help heal and make a positive difference in people's lives, including my own. So I am an admin on the International Mediumship page, so this is going to be posted there also. And just to be clear on my talks, anything that I talk about is strictly from my own experience. It's something that I have gone through in order, I suppose, to help other people, which I hope it does. I'm wrapped up here with my hat and a scarf because I'm absolutely freezing. So I'm just going to do this talk, and what attracted me to do this talk is a lot of people on this path developing their relationship with spirit world, or discovering their intuition and discovering that they have gifts within themselves, either psychic gifts or gifts to heal. Really for me it's just remembering who we truly are, and working through all the garbage in which we have convinced ourselves that we are, or we're told we are. So it's really tapping back into our true selves, tapping and having the bravery to do that also, to tap into who we truly are and believe we are. And part of my talk this evening is about, and I've noticed questions going around about how does our lifestyle affect our energy when we're doing readings or healings or anything like that. So our lifestyle can be alcohol abuse, it can be drink, it can be weed, whatever. And it's a very interesting topic to, I think, bring up, because I feel a lot of people that are on the journey of self-development and journey of mediumship development and discovering that part of themselves, there's so many questions. We ask so many questions, and I think a lot of us forget that we already have the answers within ourselves, and to tap into that inner guidance and to trust. So the subject was about mixing our spirits, mixing spirits. So let me just talk about that for a second. So mixing alcohol, if you're doing readings for someone, or drugs. So and I know this because I've experienced this, and I know a lot of people experience this, that when you kind of first start discovering that, you can either read cards or angel cards or tarot cards, or you can give your friends little readings. At first it's fun, you get the bottle of wine out, you're sitting with your friends, you're brave, you're confident, your wall is down, and it creates a safe space in order for us to read. No harm. There's absolutely no harm in that whatsoever. My only reason for bringing this up is what happens most of the time I've seen this is either the person will decide, I'm really curious about this. I'm starting to get things and they're starting to be true. Jesus, I brought a message through to her grandmother. Where did I get this? So they'll start asking a lot of questions. How am I doing this? And so some people will start to develop, and they'll go from that part of going, do you know what? I want to do classes. I want to discover more. I want to tap more into what this means. Some will just do it as a party liner, wait till they have a few bottles, a few drinks in them, and, read for their friends. And that's all well and good. But the downside effect in which it will have is that if you do decide to continue, developing and going deeper within to understand this intuitive part of ourselves that is now means something when we give a message to someone, it's a kind of a responsibility of self-care, because if you want to be seen as serious and take your work seriously and take the work that you do with spirit seriously, then becoming the local entertainer with a few bottles of wine is going to go against how you truly want to be seen and how you want your work to be seen. So there will come a time where you will decide, I don't want to be seen this way anymore, and to come out of that. So it's all part of development. It's fun, it's gentle, there's no harm, because you're among friends. But when the work starts getting seriously and you start decide to work for, like to read for strangers or read for people, would you go to see a drunk doctor? Or would you send your children to a drunk doctor? Would you go to someone who's slightly impaired? It's unprofessional, it's unethically. There's a lot of boundaries not to cross. As a reader, when I first started, kind of like about 12 years ago, I started going out to different places, pubs, reading cards, party events, charity events. And I have to say, it's an amazing experience, but I do not like being around people who drink and read. You feel vulnerable, you're wide open for the changes, and people can change quite quickly. So I really prefer when I'm doing house readings is that there's no alcohol. And the only reason, like, they can drink what they like after it, I really don't mind. But as a respect, and for me, I prefer no alcohol being around it. And it's not because the mediumship won't work. It's not because you won't get your messages. It's a personal decision for me to make that I don't want to be in that environment. Doesn't mean it wouldn't work. It's just something that I have made for myself. It makes me more comfortable. I can work easier. So mixing spirits with your spirits. As I said, at the start of it, people are, it's fun, it's entertainment, but eventually and after a while, I know personally, I didn't want to be seen as an entertainment. It wasn't something I could switch on and switch off and just enjoy it. It actually became more real for me. So my path at the time when I first started kind of opening up all to this work and opening up to a part within me that could do this work, I was drinking heavily. I was smoking a lot of hash at the time, smoking a hell of a lot of cigarettes. Energy wise, I was probably to the floor. So I have absolutely no regrets over my lifestyle. But it wasn't that my lifestyle stopped me connecting in with spirit. My lifestyle was affecting my life. I was tired. I was grumpy. I wasn't eating the right food. I wasn't looking after myself. So does alcohol stop your readings? No, of course not. But do you feel better without it? That's the question you have to ask yourself. So a lot of people, what you'll find is through this work, and I found this, the more I worked on meditation, the more I worked on communicating with spirit and building that relationship, I got more sensitive, and you will get more sensitive. So you might find that, before it might take 4 or 5 pints to get drunk, and now it could be one. So you will notice changes in your body, and it's good to honor that. So I strictly do not, and ethically and professionally, do not believe you should be reading and drinking. It's like drink driving. You're impaired. You're not trusting your instincts. Things are a bit slower. So I don't feel it's something, personally speaking, of my experience, that I would do or should do. But outside, in your normal day life, in your everyday life, you have to ask, is it good for you or affecting you or whatever? Some people can go out and drink in moderation and they feel fine and nothing affects them. But if you're having 10 pints a day and you're using it as an escape, well, that's your lifestyle. That's your lifestyle. So you really have to ask, do you feel good about yourself? Do you feel healthy? Because the thing with working with energy in healing is you don't get to skip healing on yourself. You really, really don't. You have to be, in shamanic practice, it's called the hollow bone, which is to basically to work on all our own blocks and all things that keep us back from who we truly are in order to help other people. So my reasons for stopping alcohol and stopping hash and things like that was because it was impairing my judgment. It was interfering with my everyday intuition. I wasn't clear, I was foggy, and it wasn't just in readings, it was in my everyday life. My confidence was to the floor. I drank because I was insecure. So eventually, the more and more work I did in myself, the less and less I needed to drink. And so it was a lifestyle choice. It was, yes, to feel better and to be a clearer channel, but it was a lifestyle choice for me to be better. So there's a massive difference between mixing your spirits. If you're using alcohol to read because it gives you confidence, then down the long-term road, Are you going to drink every time that you need to read? Are you going to be the entertainer for your friends? It's really up to you what you want to do with your development and where it takes you, and to honor that. So a lot of people ask about meat, like eating meat. If I eat meat, does it interfere with my channel and stuff like that? And to be really honest with you, if I was in spirit and I was dead and you're a medium, I don't think I'd be going, I'm not going to go to Siobhan today, she had a steak. I'll go to Sarah, she had lettuce. I don't think that's how it works. But if eating meat makes you feel shit about yourself and eating lettuce makes you feel better, well, there's your lifestyle choice. So it doesn't have to come from spirit world. I have to do this for spirit world. You need to do this for yourself. So drinking and bringing spirits into your readings, as I said, if this is something that your heart's desiring and this is your true path to follow, then you need to trust that. And it's about loving ourselves, accepting ourselves, and treating ourselves really, really well. And honouring the truth within ourselves, really. So when it comes to alcohol and drinking in readings and stuff like that, there has to be ethic. There has to be. When you're around friends, I feel it's completely different, because we can let our guard down a little bit, we can relax a little bit, and that's okay. But as I said, it's when it becomes you wanting to do something about it. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and just watching the time here, the other thing I wanted to bring up was prescription medication and illness. And this comes from my own personal experience, because when I stopped drinking and taking drugs and everything like that, it was for a lifestyle choice, and I felt absolutely amazing. I felt brilliant. I felt great. And then in 2014, I was diagnosed with kidney disease. So I was in hospital for quite a while, and I was absolutely devastated, because I was convinced now that I'm not going to be able to work with spirit. I won't be able to bring messages through. I won't be able to do anything, because I'd be so groggy. My body was so physically sick. I was on over 48 tablets a day, and because of side effects of medication, I then got a blood clot on my lung, which put me on more medication. And I know a lot of mediums and a lot of people on this path suffer with the question of, will I be able to connect to spirit world? What will I do that when I'm on all this medicine? And the other part is, when you're feeling so sick, you feel so disconnected. You think, where's my help? Where's my guides? Where's my angel? I can't feel anything. And I feel the important part that I got from this was my life needed my focus. My health needed my focus. I wouldn't be able to bring across a spirit message if I'm dead. I wouldn't be here to do it. So I was important. So I had to take that time to look after myself. I asked so many mediums, will this interfere with my mediumship? Will this affect me? And no one answered. And I felt quite lost at the time when I was going through that period. And I had already signed up for a mentorship in England, which meant I had to travel. And this was starting, I think, about 5 months after my diagnosis. And I thought, my life is over. I can't do this. I wouldn't be able to travel. But it meant if I didn't do the mentorship, I lost all the money, which was a hell of a lot at the time. So what I did was I used the opportunity to get better. I used the opportunity to push out my sick mind and to still continue living my life, even on all the medication. The travelling was hard. So when I got to England, I really felt the unworthiness. I really felt I should not be here. I should not be doing this. I'm not fit enough and well enough to work for spirit. And you know what? That's not what spirit taught. That's what I taught. So we all have to get clear on what we think spirit might have a problem with. We have a problem with. I was still a medium. I was still a psychic. I was still a healer. Still all of that stuff. Except I was really getting aware now of how much I was in my way. So my physical body was quite ill. I could still do messages, but it was how I felt about myself. And I did fear the medication interfering with everything. It didn't interfere with my readings, it interfered with me, with my physiological body, which needed the help. So I understood then from my journey of healing, of recovering from kidney disease, is that spirit wants us healthy. God wants us healthy. So if that means taking 48 tablets a day, then you go do it. If that means taking whatever you need to take in order to feel healthy and to be the best version of you, then you honor that. I think it was 5 months in after the clot in the lung. I really did think that was the end for me, and I had no energy and no desire to nearly want to be here, to be quite honest. And out of the blue, a friend came with cannabis oil, and all my old fears came back up. Oh, what if I get addicted? It's going to interfere. I'll never be able to be a clear channel to work with spirit. I'll never be able to healthy, blah, 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 blah. And I held this oil in my hand and I just thought, can you help me? Can this help me? And I just got a massive yes. So I started taking the cannabis oil shortly after I was diagnosed, and it changed my whole life. Absolutely changed my life. I was able to deal with the symptoms. I was able to handle the sickness. I was able to handle all the changes in my body. It changed the concept of what I was told all those years ago by other mediums. You can't take drugs. Don't do this. Don't do that. Now, I don't take cannabis oil if I'm going to read. That's a nighttime thing. I don't take it during my readings, so I'm not interfering with my readings. Your health comes first. So on my days that I need to be like looking after myself, I don't read. I put me first in that part, and Spirit wants you to do that. Spirit wants you to look after yourself so you can be a clear channel to help. So I feel a lot of the times we distrust that and we fear that we're never going to be able to be ourselves again. I'm still living with kidney disease. I'm still taking my medication. I'm still taking my plant medicine. I'm still doing that. And that's to be a better version for me, healthier for me. And my readings have got stronger. My healings have got better because I'm honouring myself. I'm being truthful for me. I'm honouring my lifestyle. I no longer tolerate shit. I no longer put crap in my body that makes me feel bad. It's not because I can't read messages. It's because I deserve to feel good and I want to feel good. So there are lines to be drawn, and there's ethic lines. If you're high as a kite going in to do a reading, or drunk, or if you need that to be confident, then what do you need to work on? It's not working on your spirit messages. It's working on your confidence and your self-esteem and why you feel you need something extra to enhance those things, because that's already within us. So this is really the talk about mixing our spirits and mixing. I think there's a fine line. So when you're doing it like alcohol and stuff like that, there's a bloody line that shouldn't be passed, especially when you're reading for someone. Medicine and ill health and looking after yourself and pharmaceutical medicine, completely different. Most mediums I know are suffering from some sort of illness, and most mediums I know take cannabis oil or edibles or whatever. In some countries it's legal, so lucky you. So you can take that medicine, but it's about making ourselves better and looking after that. I'm not here to promote cannabis. I'm here to promote self-healing, and I'm here to promote the fact that we should want to be the better version of ourselves and live a healthy lifestyle for us. And of course, it's going to make you a better medium and a better healer and a better psychic, because you're more in tune to yourself and you're more in tune to what's going on around you. So I just wanted to speak to people out there developing, where you think you've got a disease or an illness and you think that's it, it's over. So far from over. Absolutely so far from over. But I know from close friends who do suffer with chronic illness, we have to work a little bit harder on ourselves, and we have to be very honest and mind ourselves and put ourselves first. So if that means cancelling appointments, we have to cancel. If that means not being available for people for some days, then we have to honour that. It doesn't mean that Spirit's sitting up there going, oh no, we're not going to her, she's letting us down. For me, after work, going through my experience of healing, for me that's not how it works. But I really believed at the time it did. I believed all those people that told me that I wasn't good enough or strong enough because I drank or because I took drugs or because of all that stuff. That was just my life experience at the time. So honouring and looking after ourselves is one thing with pharmaceutical medicine. Abusing our bodies and abusing our minds is another thing. So stopping drinking and stopping eating meat and stopping all certain things should be a lifestyle choice for you because you feel better. If you're doing it because you want to be a better medium and that's really good. It's a good focus, it's a good thing. But if you're not getting the results, if you're not getting the results that you want to see because you stopped drinking and stopped doing this, it's kind of the wrong reasons. It shouldn't be your focus. You should be your focus. Health should be your focus. Being a better version of you should be your focus. And that way you can help others help them. So, hoping not blabbing on, I just feel that this is a topic that I wanted to bring up because I judged a lot of people years ago, and I apologise for that. I judged people on their lifestyle. Oh, they shouldn't be smoking weed if they're mediums, and they shouldn't be smoking that. Smoke and drink what you like outside your readings. That's your lifestyle, that's your life. But once you cross that line, and once you go into that room, that office, that space, when you're working on a soul to soul, that should be respected. That's sacred space. It is a sacred space. Another soul is allowing you to look in their soul. Another soul in spirit world is allowing you to communicate to their loved ones. That's a massive honor and a massive responsibility, and it's a beautiful gift. So how you want to honor it within yourself is completely unique. But if you're going to continue working with other people, then you have the responsibility to be professional, have ethics put in place. I think there's a line drawn, but I know from suffering from this beautiful, and it's a dis-ease, it's, it was caused by not being at ease with myself. So it's been a gift for me, really, because energetically I'm way more sensitive, more clearer, and I have no problem saying no than in the past I wouldn't. So it changes us. So respect your life choices. But if you're a medium and you're afraid, oh my God, if I drink this or I smoke that, and that's going to interfere with me, you ask yourself, does it interfere? Do I feel better without it, or do I feel better with it? It's a choice. It's a personal choice to make. But I know so many people like myself who have chronic disease and chronic illness and lifetime diseases. I spoke to many, and our fear was always, will I be able to do this work? Will I be able to continue this work? And I'm living proof that you can. And there's many others. But we do have to look after ourselves. So if drinking and eating meat and all that sort of stuff that you want to do because you want to be a clearer channel, you do it for you because you want to be clearer and healthier and better in yourself. I know plenty of people who drink and abuse drugs and do all that stuff, and they still have the ability to speak to spirit. They still have the ability to do psychic work. But their lifestyle is affected, then themselves is affected because they're unhappy. It's not because of their spirit work. So a lot of personal development in this, a lot of self-acceptance. But if you're starting off as an entertainer and you want it because it's fun and you go to parties and it's great, and if that feels okay to you, then that's okay to you. But when it comes to the point that it feels wrong, then you have to honor that. Trust your own intuition. Honestly, if I do house parties, I don't like alcohol. I don't do the pub scene anymore. Well, we've no choice because we've no pubs. But I'd rather not be around it because it makes me uncomfortable. Doesn't mean the readings are any less or more. It's a personal choice. So your lifestyle is your own personal choice. Your relationship with your inner guides and inner work is your own personal work. So I just felt I wanted to come on. I hope that helps somebody. If you're struggling with, am I doing this right? And sometimes when we start questioning our lifestyle, there's some nudge going on within us that is looking for change. And it's to do the changes with no fear, but with love. I stopped taking drugs because I was afraid, or drinking because I was afraid it was interfering and spirit wouldn't come to me because I was less a person. Why would I think that? because I was told that. You're judged in society. We judge. So, and we judge ourselves more harshly. So I hope this conversation helps someone. Mixing spirits with spirits. If you want to really take this path seriously and take your work with spirit seriously, then you have to ask, is what you're doing and how you're doing it, is it going against your true self, or is it honouring your true self? I don't think anyone that does parties is any less a medium than I am. I feel anyone that goes and works out in that scene, that is their choice and that's how they like to work. That's all well and good. It's just not my experience and something I like to do. So I don't. But everyone is different, everyone's unique. So as I said, you want to stop eating meat, it's a lifestyle choice. It's not because spirit won't come to you or you won't be able to give messages. If it's healthier to make those decisions for you, then do it. So God bless you guys. Just be healthy versions of yourself, and the work will just happen naturally. You will just grow into it. So take care. God bless.